You know why I love this show?
Advertising is based on one thing: happiness.
It's the first time that creatives in the advertising industry have a platform to talk freely.
Is out-of-home advertising still king?
Out of home internationally has created a synergy, because there's been a recognition of a synergy between mobile, social media, and billboards.
Hi, I'm Sabelo Masasa, and you're listening to In Between Briefs with Siabe George.
It's not easy to find a fit and ready to work copywriters in the local ad space. Where are we getting it wrong as an industry? Is it a matter of interest or lack of knowledge sharing by the industry to university students or everyone who wants to get into advertising? Today we are joined by a seasoned writer who has over 7 years in writing in strategy and digital marketing. This is In Between Briefs. My name is Siabe George. Hi, Lesego.
Hi, Sabe.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Yes, man. Welcome to In Between Briefs, man.
Great. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yes. I wish you could have joined us in the studio, but work has to go on. Lesego is a digital brand builder with over 7 years experience and practicing as a content marketer, working extensively in digital marketing and copywriting. And he's the digital lead at FCBWired, and he has worked with clients at the financial service and retail, food and beverage industries, as well as MNOs. Lesego, would you like to introduce yourself?
I think you pretty much done a good job at that, actually. Yeah. No, but besides that, I'm Lesego Rooibos. I'm a writer, I'm a speaker, I'm an activist, and I believe in communicating.
All right, great. So tell me something. This is one question that we ask everyone who comes on this show. Yeah. What was your first contact with this beautiful game of advertising? I mean, it doesn't have to be at school, even if it was at Standard 1 or anywhere, any part of your life. What was your first contact with this beautiful game?
There's actually no specific point that I can point to. But one of the first indicators that I actually love advertising and something that drew me into it was an ad by Lunch Bar.
By Lunch Bar?
So at the time, Lunch Bar.
I think I know this ad that you're going to talk about.
Was it 97?
It was the one with he threw that miles away.
Yeah, so it's the ad. There's a guy dancing there to impress a girl in a train station. There are two guys looking at the guy, and once he stops, the other guy looks at the other and says lunch bar, and the other one says Ovia.
Lunch bar has made like a series of exciting ads.
So that's really the earliest memory that I can say, look at this advertising thing. It actually makes me want to buy this product, and it's successfully communicated to me. And ever since, I can say I've been in advertising. I've been in love with it.
All right, great. How did you land your role as a copywriter? And then for listeners at home, today's topic is the industry needs more copywriters, and that's a fact. Where do we start? We need more people like Lesego Rooibos, because I know that there's a huge struggle for agencies in town to find copywriters. So tell me, Lesego, how did you land your role as a copywriter? And then, do you think there are gatekeepers in this game? Hence the low number of copywriters. Are we creating opportunity for guys who are coming from the bottom, or even guys that are within the industry? Because it's a common thing for you to shift from account to studio and all of that. It's a common practice. But take us through your journey.
Okay. From the very beginning, I'd say there about 2014, 15.
Yeah.
I started building the Lesego Rooibos brand unknowingly on social media.
I remember seeing that coming up.
Social media, just how I'm able to connect with people anywhere at any time. And unknowingly, I didn't know I was creating a brand, and somebody approached me and said, "You know what? I want to work with you. I've seen what you do. I've seen how you connect with people, and I'd like to have somebody like that on my team." And from that moment, I realized that this is actually something I can do professionally. And in 2017, I saw an advert at FCBWired.
Yeah.
I just freshly graduated in December 2016. And I applied for a digital assistant. With my love for social media and my love for writing and connecting with people, I thought, you know what, let me just give it a try. Who knows? And I was called by somebody who actually knew me. I didn't know them at the time. And during my interview, the guy told me that, you know what, I can't think of anybody else more fitting for this role because of your Facebook profile. This is what I see, what I've seen you do on Facebook. And with that, I have to have you on my team. And that's how I landed my role. But I wouldn't say I'm a copywriter straight up. Copywriting forms a great part of what I do because I communicate with people on social media.
Yeah, I see that.
I also advertise on social media. So yeah, that's how it's been for me. And you know what? I do think that copywriters need to be taken a bit more seriously in the ad world and in general.
Yeah, it shouldn't be an afterthought, you know?
It really shouldn't be an afterthought. We should be involved right from the strategic point of approaching a client's brief, right up until the last bit of execution. Just continue to refine that, because it's at the base of it is language, and language is passing a message to the next person, making sure they understand or they need to perform some sort of action. And we constantly need to make sure that if I'm an advertiser and I'm selling something to a potential customer, I need to make sure they understand, they connect, and they believe in what I'm saying throughout the whole customer journey.
Fantastically said.
Yeah, I think we could use a bit more attention on copywriting, and definitely more copywriters are needed.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Just to interject you guys' conversation, guys. For a person who's maybe listening and is not too familiar, when you say copywriting, what exactly is that? What is a copywriter?
Do you want to go with that, Lesego?
Yeah, let me put it like this.
Right,
a copywriter is somebody who talks to someone. Let me actually rephrase that. Talks with somebody.
Okay.
Because I believe writing is not just it's not coming from a place of command. It's coming from a place of engagement on both parties. The copywriters have to understand, as somebody who's going to be reading this ad, seeing it in whatever platform, whether it's on press or out of home or on social media, I need to be able to know that I can understand what they're saying, and I know what they're trying to sell to me, and how they fit into my life.
Yeah,
and then be really believable, and that's the job of a copywriter.
And then
make sure that the message comes through.
Yeah, and then the most important part is for the client. You know, the client would like to get that proper call to action. You know, After reading 3-4 lines, you know, at the end of the day, you know, the bottom line has to go up. You know, So after reading all, like, it can be funny, it can be cute, it can be powerful, and everything else, but if the CTA is wrong, then business doesn't move, right?
Correct.
You know, one thing that I've picked from this point that you said earlier in terms of your journey, it's proactiveness. You know, if you are proactive in this industry, you know, it'll be much more easier for you to get into the game, because every day someone is watching. It can be an ECD somewhere, it can be a chairman somewhere, or it can be an MD somewhere, because every day. Everyday agencies are looking for someone that they can bring on. You know, so tell me something. We've seen a lot of change in writing. I mean, with the adoption of digital. So that means more data, more accountability, and more tracking. You know, how has the transition been from the traditional kind of writing to what we have today?
You know what? Because I started being aware of advertising as digital marketing was rising. I've seen that, you know, we've kind of been forced to write in less words, but say more in less. I don't know if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah. How many characters is that again?
148.
Yeah, 148.
Wow. Yeah, somewhere 140, 148.
Yeah.
We've learned to say less say more with less words, and I think that's really been the biggest change. And I think one thing that writers need to do a bit more is listening to customers, listening to trends, listening to what's happening out there, changes and tones and nuances and changes in behavior and preferences. And in the ever more woke world, we need to be very sensitive of what we say and who we say it to.
Yeah, no,
Lest we rub anyone up the wrong way.
Yeah, no, I think accountability is everything, because you know what, once you go against the grain in terms of your brand principle, the following day, and actually not the following day, right there, social media is on fire, and you're forced to put up a press statement. I mean, like, we see that each and every weekend, so
space go in.
Space. I wish this was more visual, in terms of how copywriting has evolved. If you were to see ads that were in the 70s and 80s, those guys used to write a composition, man. Like an entire composition, like 4 or 5 paragraphs.
Wow.
And then, I mean, like, today we're getting like 3-4 lines, like we mentioned characters earlier. I mean, like, it has to be impactful, proper CTA, and then you just get it. You just get it right,
And it's also an effect of the information age. Our attention spans are quite shorter now.
True that.
So if something doesn't catch my attention in 3 seconds, I'm not going to spend any more time on it, even without knowing.
All right, great. Time is quite flying. Just to wrap it up, though, what is the future of digital marketing in Botswana? What are the future trends? Where do we see our clients as part of the journey and improving their bottom line? Because at the end of the day,
that's true. You know what?
Yeah.
I've been quite fortunate to work with clients who are, in a sense, copywriters themselves. And I do a lot of copy in Botswana, for example.
Oh, nice.
In an attempt to communicate and engage more with my consumers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I've been lucky to work with clients who believe in talking and advertising more in Botswana. I've worked with banks and grocers. We've had messages put out in Botswana, and people actually love it. Even the people who primarily talk in English, but once they see Botswana, they're like, okay, this brand is showing flexibility. This brand is showing an interest in communicating at another level with me.
And they're not really being forced to
necessarily prefer to talk in English. Yeah, so I think that's where I'm seeing a lot of copywriters getting into exploring more languages and that inclusivity of it.
All right, great. So, tell me. One thing that I've conversations that I always have with my friends in the advertising industry is that they feel like agencies in town are working in silos, né?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go straight into that, but what do you think from your level? Like, what do you think agencies in town should do better just to make sure that we get as many as possible in terms of the number of copywriters? Like, we need to pick up this number. We shouldn't be, when you take out, I mean, like, we've done that from our agency. When you take it out and say we need a copywriter, when you look for a graphic designer, you can get like over 40 applications. But if you're looking for a copywriter, you're going to get less than 10. And out of that less than 10, 70% of them will be coming from a different industry. Like journalists. Like journalists. Nothing wrong, like journalists. But people who are within our industry, we're not a lot. So what do you think collectively as agencies we should be doing, including the AC on top of that?
You know what? I think we need to start building standards. First and foremost, we need to start saying this is the standard for copywriter. This is what a copywriter needs to be able to do, and this is how we'll treat a copywriter as agency together with clients. This is how we'll value copywriters or people in other respects, but within the ad space. This is how we will present ourselves, making sure that we have our skills to back us up. You know what I'm saying? And it's just about a collective effort as agencies in the country to say, you know what, sometimes we just need to put clients aside and say, this is the work we're trying to do. This is the standard we're trying to set. How do we get together and say, and pool all our efforts for the greater good, really?
Yeah, and I think also, because I really like to balance the conversation between agency and client, I think also coming from client side, I think clients also should really push, when agencies assemble their team, they should really push for inclusivity of copywriters, and also at that end, that responsibility is to be like to, bump up at that budget a bit, because what we do in pitches is that for each and every person who was involved in the account, we have to put an amount to that, So if you're a client and then you see a copywriter, you see X amount of hours they're going to work on this account, you shouldn't strike that out and say, I can write my own copy.
Yes.
You know, that's the support that we need as an industry, you know.
Yeah.
And if they support us as the industry from that end, by not ruling them out and say, okay, no, but I can write, you know. So it should really be starting from that end, you know. So in closing, we have 30 seconds left. What do you think copywriting will be looking like in 10 years? I mean, from the local perspective, international, I mean, they talk about AI replacing copywriters, you know, and all of that.
I think that's highly impossible.
Yeah.
We can never replace humans. We can never replace how we were able to just switch conversations, how we're able to read rooms, how we're able to just show flexibility with language.
Yes.
Nuances and all of that. I think copywriters we'll definitely have more copywriters, more aware copywriters.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot more people who can become brilliant copywriters. They just don't know they can.
Yeah, and I think and I think we'll have to see more inclusivity of more language, more local languages also.
Yes,
yeah,
sure.
like that. Yeah. So and I think that's something that you believe in very strongly. So not rather than just seeing our copy in English and Tswana because our official language is official in quotation mark, but seeing languages in markets that they operate in, you know.
Right.
Yeah. Great. Thank you, man, for making time, and we'll see you soon. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Right, and just like that.
You know why I love this show?
Advertising is based on one thing: happiness.
I specifically want to hire people that can replace me, or at least get them in and get them to be competent enough to do at least what I can do fully and then some.
I give you money, you give me ideas.
You never say thank you.
That's what the money is for.
Hey, what's up, world? Obageng Kokwe, aka Ideasman, Digital Explorer, and you're hanging out on In Between Briefs with Savage George. Enjoy. Savage George. Enjoy.